And this is the website for QuickBooks Online that you're going to do today. So computerized accounting with QuickBooks Online means that, of course, the rules of computerized accounting still applies. You would have a chart of accounts. You will have the flow of transactions the same way. The difference with QuickBooks Online is that you have two bank balances right away, according to your QuickBooks and according to the bank, because you are connected right away to the bank. So you will see two balances. And the reason it's not the same is because some transactions were not reviewed. So you will have QuickBooks balance per your books and per bank side by side. Okay, so what I want you to write down is this code, the URL over here. Okay, intuit.com/redirect test drive. After you pressing this test drive, you will have, I'm not a robot. Okay, so let's copy and paste this if you need to.
Hi, Professor. Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
So about the quiz. So I did it like almost 4 days ago. And I think the instruction.
Okay, so everybody is responsible for going on Blackboard.
Yeah.
Here in course documents. Okay, right here, course documents. You have scan of chapters, you should read those. That's like having the book. Scan of the chapter. Then you go down, down, down all the way when it says PowerPoints, you know, looking at PowerPoints. The PowerPoints that I gave you for QuickBooks. Okay, like this, QuickBooks Chapter 1, QuickBooks Chapter 2. Everybody, I'm saying it many times, everybody, I don't care if you have a Mac. All of you should be responsible for watching these PowerPoints, reading the scan of the book, and doing the quizzes. Quizzes for everybody.
Okay.
It's very simple. Even if you're just watching those slides, you will be able to do get 10 out of 10 on those quizzes. So definitely study by watching these PowerPoints. Okay, by now you should be reading Chapter 1 and Chapter 2.
Okay.
And everybody's responsible for that. So if you have a Mac, you'll be doing Learn Smart and the quizzes. The homeworks you will not be able to do until I'm telling you that it's a new company. Because the sample that's what I'm going to show today, the sample on QuickBooks Online is different. Okay, the sample QuickBooks Online, let's read it together.
So one more thing.
Yes.
So if I have like QuickBook on my desktop, I don't need online, right?
No, you still need to watch what I'm doing today and practicing with like you've been in class. But no, you will not be submitting any work from here yet.
Okay, thank you.
But you're doing the test drive because you're learning how to write a check generally. So I'm teaching it to the whole group. Everybody needs to know how to write a check. So QuickBooks Online right here, QuickBooksintuit.com, redirect test drive. Okay, let me just get it done. Okay, so it's Intuit. Test drive. I think I missed something. Redirect. QuickBooks Online, Intuit.com, redirect /test drive. Okay, so you're typing that qbo.intuit.com, redirect /test drive. And when you press enter, you will get I'm not a robot. I hope everybody can see it. I want you to do this with me at the same time. So I'm not a robot, and you're going to say continue. Okay, so what we read on the paper is that the name of the company that they're giving us, the sample test drive, is on a company called Craig's Design. If you were doing homework all along, you would probably already see that it's very similar to Larry's Landscaping, which is a simple service that you were doing at homework. So Craig Design and Landscaping is very similar to Larry Landscaping. Okay, so we have I'm Not a Robot. Let's go back to that. And here's your main screen. Right away, you're in Craig Design and Landscaping. This is the home screen. It's definitely different than QuickBooks Desktop. You have everything on the side here. It's called the dashboard. If I go to banking, you will notice right away that there are 2 numbers on each one. And the reason is you have the banking right here, balance, and this is QuickBooks balance. And you have 25 entries to review. That's what it means. So as of QuickBooks, whenever somebody worked here, they entered until 1,201. And as of the book bank balance, they have a minus of 3621.93. Okay, and the same thing on another bank account. The bank has 200, QuickBooks has 800. Okay, and there's 1 transaction. So obviously there's a transaction that they did a transfer of 600 from one to the other that they didn't record yet. But that's what it means. So these are all connected to the bank directly, checking and savings, and MasterCard. It could be connected to American Express. It could be connected to Chase, to whichever bank you're doing. Okay, this is QuickBooks Online. Okay, the dashboard, by the way, QuickBooks Online changes, very often because they're improving this. They're changing it all the time. The layout, the look, it's constantly being remodeled. So I can, be away from it for a couple of weeks and it looks new already. That's the way it looks. So you have QuickBooks up here. New will be for new company, but we are in the sample company that says Craig's, and this is the dashboard. So Craig Design and Landscaping Service, that's your sample company. You can always add a logo if you want to. And on the side, you have very important tools. So I want to discuss the tools here on the side. Okay, you have on the right, the gear. This is going to be very important for you. That's like setting of your company. When you want to find out about a company, manage users, customs and styles, chart of accounts, of course, it's important. And then all list is the second group. And then you can do a lot of things from here, like bank reconciliation is reconciling here, audit log, many different things. So that's from here. Okay, so if I want to be a little bit curious about Craig and I want to find out what about, is it a sole proprietorship, partnership? Let's go to account and setting. Okay, so I clicked on account and setting. It will tell me the legal name of the company was not set, but I'm assuming it's the same. Craig's Design and Landscaping Service. They did not choose which way they are doing the business. So they didn't choose here 1040, sole proprietorship. I can always click on edit and decide what it is. So they did not choose. But the way it works is sole proprietorship is 1040, partnership is 1065, 1120S is as corporation, other corporation 1120. So you have all of the choices in here, but they didn't just choose anything. So we can work without it. Okay, and that's the company address. And that's basically it for this information. If you want QuickBooks with account numbers, without account numbers, you can go from here. That's under advanced. Advanced. So I'm in the category of setting, advanced, and I could say, do you want account numbers? Let's see if it's here. Other preferences. It's supposed to be here. Account numbers. Yes, right here. Chart of accounts. So you see by default, it's regular QuickBooks. So it's always on off. So chart of accounts, enable account numbers. If you want to do it with account numbers, you click here and you enable it. You're making it on. So account numbers, and then show account numbers. So if you want account numbers, it's easy to do. Again, I'll start it to show you what's important. So this is my dashboard of Craig Design and Landscaping. It's a test drive. Everybody has the same company. All you have to do is type QuickBooks Online Intuit.com/redirect test drive. Again, so if you didn't see it before, I'm showing you where it is. Under course, okay, I'm showing everybody where it is. Course documents, you have files for QuickBooks Online to practice, all these PDFs. So the one I just opened is this one, setting up test drive company in QuickBooks. So it's the second one from the bottom. I opened it up already. And this is the file. So the link is HTTPS QuickBooksIntuit.com redirect. If you want to continue with this, and of course this is for the Mac users, you must use the exact directions you see here. QuickBooks Online license and product code. Follow everything that you see here. It's all free.
So, Professor, I have a question. I'm sorry. We are going to be using QuickBooks Online for now on.
If you're a Mac user, that's your only choice. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so you have all this information right here. That's what you're going to use for your midterm. That's what you're going to use for submitting projects. It's basically the same because on the Excel, you'll be able to do Excel as well. Okay, so after you type this, everybody right now, I'm teaching QuickBooks Online for everyone, how to write checks. Today is really how to write checks. Okay, so you're in the main screen. By the way, this is in your book as well. So if you got the physical book, it's the last chapters and it says computer accounting with QuickBooks Online. It's in your book. And I'm going to discuss chapter, which chapter we're doing? Navigation. Okay, so let's start with chapter 1 there. So the page in the book is 997.
Professor, sorry.
And this is your dashboard. Yes.
Sorry. Is the book that in the Connect and the physical book is the same book, right?
No, many times I said no. Do not buy the ebook from Connect. You bought the book that I gave you the link, you have extra chapters.
Okay.
Did you get the physical book through the link I gave?
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, you have extra, it's 3 books in one. It's
okay.
that I created for you.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, so yes, you have it. So first the beginning of the book is QuickBooks Desktop. Then you have in the middle, Accounting Information System book. And at the end, it's QuickBooks Online book. So the 3 books in one.
Professor, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, so if we don't buy the book from Connect, what about the almost that in Connect? Do we have to do that, or is it gonna be like the one's gonna be somewhere else?
Everybody going to do it. So if you have Mac, you're going to practice with this one, and you're not doing the homework, but you're doing the quizzes and Learn Smart based on QuickBooks Desktop.
Okay, and
You're still going to be doing it. Again, how? By looking at PowerPoints that are on Blackboard. Everything is going to be enough for you. PowerPoints that you have right here, PowerPoints, and then you go down to QuickBooks, and these are PowerPoints about QuickBooks that matches the desktop. So watching this and answering the quiz is a must. Quizzes is for everybody, no excuses.
okay, but when we buy the book in QuickBook, is it they're gonna give you a code for us to go to Connect?
You don't need, I'm giving you it right now, right here. Everything is free, right here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you're reading it on the paper, a QuickBooks Online license and product code. It's all free.
Professor, I have a quick question.
Yes.
I ordered the book from the bookstore and they say it's back ordered.
Okay, so QuickBooks Desktop, you need to be next to your own computer and you log into your own computer at work. So usually QuickBooks Desktop is also a network. It's many computers working at the same time, and you're logging into one login information, and you can work remotely for your computer. When you're working with QuickBooks Online, the benefit of that is that you can work from anywhere. You can travel to China, you can travel to Italy, doesn't matter. You're going to be connected anywhere. So this is cloud-based completely. Everybody just needs the code to get in. So you're watching the same. We can have 200 people doing exactly what I'm doing today at the same time. So it's not limited to how many users and things like that. So yes, QuickBooks Connect homework are not the same. I'm going to say it again. QuickBooks Connect homework are based on two sample companies that are similar, but the numbers are different. See over here, the name of the company is Craig's Design Landscaping Service, and QuickBooks, we're going to do mostly in a QuickBooks Desktop. The company is Larry Landscaping, and Larry's numbers are different than this one. So definitely you cannot do the homework. You can do only the quizzes and Learn Smart. Okay, everybody's responsible to quizzes and the Learn Smart if you don't have QuickBooks Desktop. And again, it's not so many students. Even in such a large quantity, I have maybe 10 Macs that have 10 students that have a Mac. But all of you should be learning how to do QuickBooks Online. And eventually you could do work for other people with QuickBooks Online and set it up and work with this, because this is the new trend, everybody working from home. I'm talking about the big CPA firms, they're all working from home, logging into their clients' paperwork, exactly like we're doing now, and preparing financial statements. And they're working from home remotely until after the election, that's for sure. So most people are.
Professor, I have a question.
Yes.
I'm confused. What is the...
Okay, a few differences between the two programs. QuickBooks Desktop has better accounting information that you will see debits and credit on the screen and journal entries right away on the screen. These reports are less. It's more for a user who just wants to find out the information. Okay, we will see right now how entering a check looks different than entering a check on desktop. I could do both and show you the difference. So I'm not teaching chapter 3 and 4 yet. I want you to really just get the idea of how QuickBooks looks. So QuickBooks Online, here's number one difference, which is a very big difference. You have a MasterCard, you have banking. All these would have updating moments ago connection to the computer and connection to the computer at the bank. So the example is, if I go to checking, you see there's 25 transactions that came up from the bank that were not entered by me yet, were not reviewed. So we have a difference between our books, which is in QuickBooks, compared to bank. And the same thing here. One transaction needs to be reviewed. And this is probably a difference of $600. So you have 800, but somebody transferred out 600, so now you have at the bank only 200. So these you will never have on the computer at all in QuickBooks Desktop. You could do bank feeds, but you will not see this view at all of bank to book 3 times. So you have it on credit card and you have it on accounts. That's the big difference right away. And some people like it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's a very big difference. So they're not matching. QuickBooks Desktop, you cannot bring the same information to QuickBooks Online. It does not integrate that way. Okay, so what I showed you today so far is that gear right here. Everything that you need in the beginning is in here. Chart of accounts, accounts and setting. So I showed if I want account numbers, I went to account and setting. Very similar to QuickBooks Desktop, where I showed you that it's under accounting and advanced. And under chart of accounts, you're gonna say that you want account numbers. Okay, so this is the company name, company type, things like that. Address, communication. You have usage, billable hours, sales, customization, things like that. And here's the chart of accounts advanced. I turned it on. Usually this is on off. Under chart of accounts, it says enable account numbers. I turned it on. Okay, so now you see that it's on. Okay, so let's go to the chart of accounts to get to know the company. Okay, this is something I want you to practice. Don't worry, it's a test drive. It can't change anything. And anytime I open the test drive, it's back to exactly the same screen. Okay, so here you have a search. This is the magnifying glass with a search. Search, you can search for the exact transaction. If you remember, let's say I'm looking for something for $9.99. I don't know if it'll work, but let's see if there's any transaction containing, let's try $19.99. None. Okay, so let's do $34. Also not. Okay, let's say I'm looking for a vendor. No items found. Okay, so anyway, the search is very useful. Let me show you search in general. See, somebody was searching $34 credit card expense and they found it. So you can get, here's the information of the $34. It was for a car expense, automobile, $34, and they used the MasterCard. Okay, so you see here the name of the bank, meaning the MasterCard that was used. And this one, if you don't want to know more, this is an expense account, automobile expense, $34. If you want to write more, you can write this is for gas. Okay, easy to correct, easy to fix, easy to work with this. Okay, so I'm not saving. So that was the search button that I showed you. Then you have over here notification and the gear that I showed you, that you have almost everything that you need right here. And the most important one is right here. When you have the plus, you click on plus and everything pops up. You can add a new customer. You can add all this information right here. Expenses, check, bill, employees, other, journal. Let's say you need the journal entry, you're gonna find it here. So everything is under the plus. So it's customers, vendors, employees, and other. So in QuickBooks Desktop, you don't have customers, vendors, and employees. Those are centers. But here we don't have the exact center that says bank and company. So it's all under other. So these are the main three: customers, vendors, employees. I'm showing you the differences right away. Okay, but if you need banking, of course, banking is very important and it's here. So you have banking expenses related to vendors and customers, vendors and expenses. Sales are customers. So these are sales overview. And you have payroll that we're not going to discuss at all. Payroll, I don't teach on either one. Okay, so let's go back to dashboard and the navigation. Okay, so we want to get to create the icon and the plus. Okay, so this is your gear icon, the plus icon, which I showed you right here, and the search icon. Those three are chapter 1. So gear icon, search, and the plus. Okay, gear icon and so on. So recurring transactions we will do later, but I want to do according to the bank and according to chart of accounts and account. Okay, so let's go into accounts. You can do it in another way. Down here in the list to accounting, and you'll see chart of accounts. In the picture, it says, take a peek under the hood and let's see the chart of accounts. Okay. Okay, so in the plan, you have 250 accounts, you're using 44. You could do many more. It's very simple to center and to enter more. Okay, sorry, by mistake, I'm muted. Okay, so you have over here the explanation that I told you before, that checking, bank checking are different right here. And you have view register. Okay, so we're gonna go view register. And you are on account right now. The register basic, the register means like a little checkbook that they used to give you. You have a column for payment, a column for deposit, and a balance. Very simple to use. Okay, so this is the register. I don't need to go to two separate screen. If I need a payment, I'll be going to this column. If I need a deposit, I'm going to this column. Okay, so we see payments right here, 900, 2350, and things like that. Okay, and then deposit. Here's a deposit, 408. Why does it say split? Now, split means that you have two different, let's say, checks and cash, or two different payments. And if I touch the split, if you could see it. Okay, now you see that there were two checks involved. It was 108 and 300, and together it went to one deposit of 408. So that's a split. So split in general means that there's more than one account. If this transaction, 114, was split into two accounts, you will not see accounts payable over here. You'll see two different accounts. You'll see the word split. So split means that a compound entry, that you have more than one. Here's example, another deposit, 78.75 plus 140 became 218.75. It's a split. Okay, like that, you have all the transactions. Okay, so we definitely have transactions that occurred before. They're doing over here today's dates. You see the dates, and I can scroll down. I go back. I can go back to May. I can go back to June, July, looking back and forth. Okay, so this is transactions that are already in the computer. Okay, so I'm going to show how I got to the bank register a couple times. Okay, go back to the dashboard. You have banking, you click on banking. And if you want to go into checking, which is this one, this is right now you will be in, on the bottom is transactions that already brought back from the bank, but did not enter into my books yet. So you have, go to the register in this screen. If it's easier for you, you go to banking, banking, and right here, go to the bank register. You click there, and then you're in bank register. I did it in another way. You went to accounting, chart of accounts, and it's the first one, view register. View register. Okay, but it is easier to work from the banking on top and really review transactions that are not entered. Okay, so if I go back to banking, I'm going to explain to you what's happening. You need to match over here a total of 25 transactions. So until now, somebody entered 1,201, that's reviewed, and it's in the computer, it's in the register already, the books are done to this amount. But the 25 that we see down here is really the 25 down here that we need to review and match. Okay, so we have information right here, and we're not just clicking add because it's not correct. You have uncategorized income or uncategorized expense. That means the computer brings it from the bank, but it doesn't know where to apply it. So each transaction, you will be changing the category. If you know that this is a supply, you would be typing supplies here instead of uncategorized income. And then you have uncategorized expense. That means it's an expense. Again, you will need to know what it's for. A rental, what did they rent? So I'll have to give you that type of information before you go in. Okay, but if it says match, these are simple. Match means that you already entered it and it matches, it happened. So all you're doing is select, match, make a selection, and you accept them. So again, I'm only doing those that say match, 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 match. So the computer already has them as of 812, and it matches the 812 in the bank. 812, somebody give you a refund, and it's already exists. Okay, so you got it, refund from the cake, and you got these three. And again, I'm matching the 812 right here. I'm trying to do all the matches. So from more of my, I would say maybe 10 out of my 25 already entered. So all I have to do is match them. So match the transaction between bank and book. That's what I'm doing. Okay, here's one more match. Okay, so you can work with me and do the matches. Whatever matches, accept. So right now I did already 10. If I missed something, let's go up and down and see if I missed any more. Okay, here's more matches. So match, match, and match. So I'm looking at all the matches. This is a big plus that you cannot do it in QuickBooks regular. These are already in the computer, they all match. Okay, so cluster of transactions you cannot do like this. You have to do one by one on QuickBooks Desktop. Okay, so now I have a total of 14 that I have matches because it says over here on the side match. All I have to do is accept them. So I click accept and it goes away, 14 transactions less. Now you have all those that say match or add. An example, there are 3 bill payments and 1 record found. So let's check this out. 75, it matches the book, so fine, it matched. One more match, accept it. And if I'm not sure, because there are 2 of them, you have to view. Okay, so sometimes it says add, sometimes it says match, and sometimes view. What is view? Okay, Squeaky Clean Car Service, car wash, is probably doing this every month. So $19.99, they want to make sure that it matches. So you have to view it and see which one sounds right. Is it a cash expense or the check debit? Okay, so that's the match for the same date, 8/12, and I'm matching, and it went away. Okay, so now I'm only on the add. Add will be to add books and to add the categories. So book by Bessie, I see a rental. Okay, so you need to know more about the company. So Craig Landscaping rents me, but sometimes he gives them a refund. Here's what he spent, and this is a refund. I see it because it says uncategorized income, uncategorized expense. It doesn't mean it's income, it's a refund probably. So I see those 3, a rental. I have to go into each one. So you click on them, you will get into them, and it says uncategorized income. Find a match. I'm going to switch it to, maybe they have equipment rental. Yes, so they have equipment rental, sub account of job expenses. So I'm going to choose that. And after I choose it, I'm going to click add. So I cannot add an account that just says uncategorized expense or uncategorized income. You want it to be specific to the account that applies here. So the information about a rental, all of them, all a rental would be job expense. Okay, you'll see it here. A rental, it's a backhoe rental. So I'm doing add. Okay, that's went in. And the same way I'm going to do the next. Okay, I'm doing it for practice again. Uncategorized income. Because it's a refund, it's still equipment rental. But I can write on the side here, see it's a job expense. I can write in the memo, this is a refund. Okay, so they want to make sure that this.
How do you know it is a refund?
Okay, because the A rental is your vendor, and you paid $1,200 and $800, and then you received back a refund of $200. Received, this is not a deposit for anything else. So the book does explain it, that you have a refund from that company. So if it's the same, let's say you have Books by Bessie right here, see? Books by Bessie and Books by Bessie. You have to check if Bessie is your customer or vendor. We will check that soon. And then you see it's a wash. It's like you bought and it's on and on. It's 55 here buying and 55 credit. So you returned everything you bought. You bought some Books by Bessie, but you also returned. So you received the money back. Okay, so that's the explanation for these. On 7/4 you bought it, and on 10/9 you returned it. I understand the connection? When you spend the money, when you receive the money. Some of it will be guesswork, but not all the time, because the books will tell you what to do. Okay, we're gonna do step by step with writing a check in a minute. Okay, so let me just finish this one. All I'm doing is that I'm accepting it. Job expenses is not saying I'm matching, so I'm adding it. And now he says, so from now on, is it always equipment rental? To make my life easier, I say yes. Okay, so after 2-3 times, he already says, okay, so now I understand that a rental is always equipment rental. Okay, so books by Bessie, you will have to look into it again, but it says legal and professional fees. You see it here? Books by Bessie? Legal and professional fees, if I'm changing to that. And I'm gonna add because it's fine. And then you're doing it again over here on the top when it says uncategorized income, you're opening it up, switching to legal and professional fees. Okay, so it's in and out, a refund. Okay, we're gonna stop with this one, but I want you to go back and we're gonna enter some checks. So if you wanna go to the bank register, you click here. You can also do it from here probably. Register. Okay, let's go with this one. Check. Okay, so as we entering, the numbers are going down. Okay, you see the bank balance is this. Our book balance right now is minus 599. We're gonna enter a few more. Okay, so we're ready to enter a new check. Okay, see it says expenses and numbers. Then I'm gonna find for you the exact number they want. Okay, we're doing money out. Okay, so let's go over here. We're gonna add and check. So click on add plus, and we're gonna choose from this list right here in vendors, check. So I'm using the plus and I'm going for a check. Okay, the information for the check. I skipped ahead a little bit, so I'll give you an idea. Yes. So they're giving us the check information. I'm reading it to you from the book first. The check should be for Cookies by Kathy, cookies spelled with a K, checking account, office expense, and it's for an office party for $33 that you bought basically cookies. So we're gonna go for the parties and say over here, payee name, we're gonna start with that. Cookies by Kathy. So I'm spelling cookies by Kathy. It's already in the computer, you're gonna find it. So that's a check, cookies by Kathy. I don't know why it came out as a customer. It should have been vendor, but I guess we buy, you know, it's also our customer. So we probably do our landscape as, you know, also. So cookies by Kathy, and we're gonna write a check. Okay, so $33 we're spending on office expense. So we go to category. We have to do office expense or expenses, description. Description is cookies. Let's just say cookies. Amount, very important, $33. Then billable is if we're billable, making this a billable expense to the customer. Some customer would pay for it. This is not, it's on an office party only. So if you want to write cookies description, office party, so we put it here, office party. So we know that it's going out of the checking account and it's $33 debit to office expense. So you only have to take care of what is the debit because the credit is up here automatically. So this is your check. Check number 71, office expense, cookies, and we're done. Okay, if you want to print it later, you can write it, print later, but we're not really printing. So we're going to do saving and continue. Okay, so I'm going to go to continue.
How did you save it?
Okay, so on the screen right here. Okay, look at the bottom for a second. Do you see it says make recurring? So let's say this was every month. Then I would make it a recurring expense. Here you have order checks and print checks. Okay, you see that? And on the bottom you have save and close. You see the screen?
Okay, okay.
So we go into the next one, save and close. But if you want to write another one, you have also another choice when you pull down, save and new. So if I want to do another check, let's do another check. So instead of save and close, I'm going to go save and new. So right away in the next check, 72. Check 72 would be for pies, cakes, also for the same office party. We're buying a cake for $42. So we're typing in here, pie, cakes, okay, so pie cake, office expense. We start with that. Cake for office party. Okay, we got the debit and the credit. This is the credit from checking, debit to office expense. You could have also done miscellaneous. You could have done conference and meeting, depends on the company. But as long as it's an expense, you do. Okay, so amount would be, since the book told me office expense, I'm doing all following the book, $42. Okay, so this is how you write a check. You have the checking up here, office expense, cake, office for the, the cake for the party, and it's $42. And everything is complete, and you go down here for save and new. I'm sorry, I took this away because it bothers me. Save and new. Okay, so you got the hang of the check. Let's do the last one. Computer by Jenny. This time you need $12 to buy a computer cable for a computer by Jenny. So we need a new computer cable, computer by Jenny, and that's a supplies. Okay, usually it shows up, supplies expense. You're gonna write computer cable replaced. Replacement maybe. And amount, $12. Okay, so that's my full check. If you want to enter it differently, we will do it next time as an expense. You could do it also as an expense and enter bills like that without paying right now. So I'm switching to save and close. So I did 3 checks. I want to show you where they are. The checks that we just did. Oh, I'm not sure I checked the dates. I wasn't sure. Let me search them. That's $12. I wasn't careful about the dates. Okay, so I did today's date, fine. Okay, so it's on today's date. And here's the information I put today. So computer by Jenny, pies, cake, and cookies by Kathy. I gave you 3 examples of checks. Okay, this is 3 examples of checks. Now I'm switching to QuickBooks Desktop and I'll show you how it's done there, and then we'll be done for today. Again, this is not to be scared. You know, you can practice it again and again. You can write exactly these 3 checks in your version. If it's not, you know, next time you open it and you forgot what you did, because this is a test drive. You're just practicing, not a real company. Okay, reconcile, we're gonna continue next time. So let me switching to QuickBooks Online, for QuickBooks Desktop. I'm resuming share in a minute because I have to show you QuickBooks Desktop. Okay, so this is QuickBooks Desktop. And I'll try to open this one. It doesn't matter which company I'm opening. I think I'm opening QuickBooks Rockcastle. Yeah, I'm opening Rockcastle. And that's my date, December 15, 2022. That's my year is 2022. If you use 2019, you would have here December 15, 2020. Okay, I'm going to answer one student about Connect. I want you all to write the same phone number. Please open cases if you can't do something. It's 1-800-331-5094. I'm sure my code's working. It's just copy and paste. Or you call them and they will connect you. Okay, so it looks like this. I'm going to share the window again. No, not this one. I'm trying to find the regular screen, just a minute. Okay. Fine, I'm going back to this. Okay, it doesn't matter which class you're in. You'll go back to syllabus. For the student who asked how to get on Connect and you didn't get Connect yet, you're going over here, not the syllabus. Under it, you have Excel Prep, and under it, you have the link, and then you have Connect URL. You're opening the Connect URL. The PDF file is an active file. You just have to click on this link right here. You see the hand? You're clicking on this, and it does work for Accounting 3051, Net C, Full 2020. If it still doesn't work, you're going to call them up, and they will connect you with this class. Make sure you're reading to them, Accounting 3051, Full 2020, Net C, and the code. All this so to make sure that you're in the right class, based on whichever class you registered. I have 3 different URL code to each class. So if you're C, this is your number. If it didn't work, you call them up, 1-800-331-5094, and you're logging into Connect. They will give you complimentary 2 weeks. But this usually works. When I click here, you'll see my name, 3051, and it's Net C, so it means it's working. Enter your email and start registering. Okay, so now let me switch back, new share.
Excuse me, I also have a question for QuickBooks. So do we have to have the desktop version, or is the online version fine for this class?
Okay, the online version is not matching the QuickBooks Desktop quick homework. So Connect is QuickBooks Desktop. The reason I'm teaching QuickBooks Online is I'm supposed to teach both, but the QuickBooks Online would be for all students that have Mac and have problems with QuickBooks Desktop. So if you have a Mac computer, you'll be working on QuickBooks Online and submitting only quizzes and Learn Smart until we're starting new companies. When we're doing companies, you all work on the same one. So you'll be working on QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop whenever we're doing file completely new company. So when it's a new company, you could do either one. That's the reason you'll be working on QuickBooks Online if you have a Mac, QuickBooks Desktop if not. So QuickBooks Desktop matches the Connect homework. But since I have a few students with Mac, I have to do it this way. Okay, so now I'm showing just how to write checks today, and we're going to continue with the rest next time. Okay, so QuickBooks, you go to write checks right here. You have vendors, customers, employees, company, and banking. So let's continue with writing a check because I showed it in QuickBooks Online. I want you to see it in QuickBooks Desktop. So it's the same idea. Checking is already done. So the checking is being deducted right away. So your job is right to prepare on the bottom which one is debit. But QuickBooks, again, are not scared. They're really scared of the words debit credits. So they just say expenses. But it's not true that always it's an expense. Sometimes it's going to be you're writing a check to pay a payable. Let's say you're paying a short-term loan, liability. So it's not always an expense. Sometimes I'm buying, majority of the time it's an expense, but sometimes I'm going to buy a fixed asset or I can pay for liability. So it's not always an expense, but it's always a debit. It depends what you're paying. Let's say an example, I'm paying water. So water bill would be Bay Shore Water. Okay, I can choose it from here. This is the name of the vendor, Bay Shore Water. And I want to pay $36 for water. Okay, so if I would try to save right now, I'm thinking it's complete. I have a date, I have the name of the vendor, and I have $36. If I try to save, it will say, you must assign an account for this transaction. Without the account being debited, you will not have a complete entry. So you must have an account. Account will be water. And what is water? Water is a utility expense and its sub-account, water is under utilities. So you see it's a sub-account. The main account, sub-account, we already started to discuss. This is how you do it. And if I'm ready to save the check, after I wrote utilities water, I could show that I typed it, utilities water. This is the main account, this is a sub-account. So he's taking the expense from water. So it's debit, water, and credit checking. And we obviously have enough money. We have $46,969.10. Okay, then I'm saving it. That's how you write a check using this write check window. But we worked with a check register in QuickBooks Desktop online. So let me show you that it's very similar. I like the checkbook register better. You choose the checking. And you see it's very similar. There's a payment column, a deposit column, and balance. I don't need to go to two different screens. I can do deposits on this area and checks on this area. So I prefer that. Okay, so let's see which one I entered. And I do have the search, but the search is a little bit longer. I go with search and search transaction by using the find. I could do advanced even, amount, whatever I want, but it's a little bit different. Let's say I'm looking for the $36 I just did. I found the $36. I did December 15, this is today. So I could do the search, but it's a little bit different. It's called here found. And maybe I'll make the date, let's change it a little. Make it on the 19th. Okay. So I have the same idea of find and search, and here it is. Today is under the line. This is what I just did. I'll practice one more time. Another check, let's say I want to pay $200 for advertising. So I'm doing $200 and I want to pay to Davis Business Associates. And it's an advertising expense. Okay, problem, they don't have advertising. Okay. So I'm gonna create a new account whenever I need. See, all done. So I'm setting up advertising expense. It needs to be in a number. I don't know the number, but I know it starts with a 6. So here's my advertising expense and my check. Check number will be the next number, 4922. And always be careful with your dates. Before you save, you check everything that it's right. So they want the date to be December 20th. Okay, right here. And Davis Business Associate, debit to advertising expense, and I type the amount, $200. And to save it, you just press record. Record is saving. Okay, so if you like this screen or the other screen, it's very easy to work with both. Okay, so I entered it here, but the source is really like write a check. So what I'm doing is double clicking. I want you to notice where I am in the mouse. I'm double clicking on the balance. It will show me always the source. The source is really like you typed it here, like you wrote a check. Again, this is the source, double click. This one, if I want you to understand it, it says send, transfer, 10,300 savings, and it's $500 in the column of deposit. So what do you think happened? Remember, you're in a checking right now. Look at the top of your screen. Checking 10,100. So what do you think happened? You can unmute yourself and say something. Again, the clue is in the first word. What do you see?
Debit on cash.
It's savings. You see here savings? And checking. And transfer. What do you think it means? Between? Again, look at the top. This is your checking account.
You transferred money from one account to another.
Exactly. 500 came from savings to checking. And let's look at it. I'm double clicking to see if I'm right. I'm double clicking on the balance, double click. And it will show me the source that it's transferred from savings to checking. So it's debit and credit. So it's debit, the checking account, and the saving was minus. So this is before and after. How much money? The answer is 500. So there was transferring amount $500 from savings to checking. And again, how did I know? Because it said deposit. Okay, it didn't really happen because they don't have a check mark on online fund transfer. Okay, so let's just close it like this. So you see the 500? It's coming as a plus. We can see here 46,469. After 500, 46,969. It's addition. So checking increase and saving decreased. Let's look at the next one. 46,969 minus $36. And then minus 200. Okay, did you take the plastic out of it? There's a plastic in the back. Don't do it then. Okay, everybody, so this is an example of checks. You can always practice more checks. And this is the beginning of chapter 3. Chapter 4 is already bank reconciliation. So we're going to work a lot with this. They're teaching deposits and checks in chapter 3. So that's the beginning of chapter 3. And we're done for today.
Excuse me, Professor, I have
Yes?
two questions.
Okay.
When I use Microsoft Excel for the quiz, I used the one that my